My guest today won the Heisman Trophy and a national championship as the quarterback for the USC Trojans. He played 7 seasons in the NFL and is now a college football analyst. Matt Leinart.
What's up?
Thank you for coming.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Do you like our house here?
I like your house. I like the yard. It's very, it's kind of cool that you just get to use this house every day.
Yeah, it feels really LA. And you...
It is very LA, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That was kind of the point of the show. So you are really known for your LA roots. You played high school football in LA, you played at USC, but you almost didn't go there, right? You almost went to Georgia Tech or Oklahoma. How would things be different?
Well, God, they would be a lot different. Are you kidding me? It was, Georgia Tech. It's interesting because they run the triple option, which, you know me, I'm slow as heck and I could never run a football. Georgia Tech recruited me very hard. Oklahoma kind of came in late. Michigan was one that I was actually really close to going to too. The way it all went down was I committed to actually Hugh Jackson. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Committed to Hugh Jackson and Paul Hackett at USC, and then they got fired, and then it was the old coaching search and all that, and Pete Carroll got hired. And Pete had just got fired, I think, from New England at the time, and no one really, he was kind of like the 4th or 5th guy in line. And he hired Norm Chow, and he hired Steve Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin, all these great coaches. And in that time, I took a trip to Oklahoma, and Michigan was very close, but at the end of the day, I could never leave home. But I always think God, what if I would have lived in Norman, Oklahoma? Or what if I would have lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan? How my life would be so different. But obviously it worked out well. And at the end of the day, I could never leave home. I grew up in Southern California. I was a mama's boy. This was just me, so I stayed.
Yeah, so you went to USC and you were there when they were the team in Southern California. We're going to get to some of the things that happened during that time a little later. But was there any moment that really stood out to you, like the parties, the celebrities?
Oh man, we always kind of joke, but we were kind of like the kings of LA at that time.
You were.
Just every once in a while when we go to the Hollywood, we were just treated like royalty there. We could walk in, we'd get the free bottles and just things that you don't, God, nowadays, I think I would have to I'd be in the 40-person line trying to get to a club because I'm so old. But we had a good run. It was a lot of fun. And looking back, we met a lot of cool people. And the thing that I always loved was we were able to do all that stuff, but we were able to really focus and win and play. And that's what Pete Carroll loved, creating that type of atmosphere for us. And we went out there and we produced, we won. We weren't, this fake kind of, we go out to Hollywood or whatever, meet these celebrity people. We went out and we won every Saturday for the most part, So
you're in college and you're hanging out with the biggest celebrities of the 2000s. While you're in college, the 2000s, is there a moment when you kind of were pinching yourself that you couldn't believe that this was real? Any specific thing that happened? Paris Hilton?
Oh gosh. It's funny, as living in the moment at that time, it was so normal. And I know that probably sounds not arrogant, but it was just so normal for us. We met so many people. The funny thing is Nick Lachey, who's one of my best buddies still. And we met in, God, what did we meet? 2003. And it's so funny. So we met at a bar called Guys. Mm-hmm. And I think it was West Hollywood or something back in the day. It's no longer there. And I'll never forget, we were at a bar and my buddy was like, dude, that's Nick Lachey. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And I wasn't it was just oh, that's awesome. And he was a big USC fan. So my buddy was like, dude, you should go up and talk to him. He loves USC. He's going to love you, all these things. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm not going to go to Nick Lachey. So anyway, we were passing by and we ended up talking to each other for, God, I don't know, just total bromancing out about sports and football and all this stuff. And we exchanged numbers, which is super weird, but we exchanged numbers and that's how we became boys. That was our first interaction. I know.
Were you like, hey Nick, can I get your number?
I don't remember how it was. I'm thinking back oh my gosh, what was I doing? But yeah, we met at Guys. 2 guys exchanging numbers at the bar. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And he's been a close friend of mine. Actually, sang at my wedding.
Aww.
Yeah, I really sang at my wedding a couple songs, which was really beautiful and really special for my wife and I. And he's been a great friend and a great friend for a long time. So.
Reggie Bush. Let's talk about that and the Bush push. It has been enough time. Can you finally admit that that was illegal?
You know who you sound? You sound like Brady Quinn right now. You sound like Brady Quinn.
What? That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, because he cannot get over the fact that we beat him. Listen, that play has been going on for years, and now it is legal. But that play, I mean, everybody got a little help. And God, when I watched that back, it was so bad. Like, it was such a bad attempt for me to try and get into the end zone. And I'll never forget, I was sitting there, and Tom Zbikowski was a safety for Notre Dame. Great player, tough as heck. And he was literally like, from me to you. And I'm going down, and he just knows. He knows, like, Matt's going to try and get this. And you can, if you watch the play, you can see it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I should not do this. But I was like, feast or famine, I'm going in. I'm either going to be, this is going to be the greatest play in history, or I'm going to be the reason why we lost. You know, we didn't get to the championship. And right before that, Reggie was right behind me, and I told him, I asked him, like, dude, should I go? Like, should I go for it? Because it was a built-in, like, we could have stopped the clock or quarterback sneak. And he's like, I got you. And at the time, I'm like, all right, I didn't know what that meant. So take the snap, should not have taken the snap. And sure enough, did my little pirouette, because, you know, and the rest is history. So legal play, fair victory. We won, they lost, and yeah.